Hi, Marianne here, and in this video, I'd like to provide a higher level overview of the awakening process itself, what that really is, what it really means. Um, a lot of people use that term very freely, but I'm not sure that everyone that uses it really has a good grasp of that, particularly people who are just beginning the process of awakening. So in order to provide a good overview, it's really important to take a look at what we really are, where we are, and how we got here, and where we're going. After all, we're not going to get very far on any journey if we don't know where we are right now, how we got here, and where it is we're heading. So, with that in mind, let's get started. We are so much more than mind, emotions, and this physical form. We are multidimensional, multi-density, multi-reality, multi-selves, experiencing a multidimensional, multi-density, multiple timeline, multiversion world. The mind-body complex that we occupy in this reality is actually an energetic holographic projection of just one aspect or version of our core energetic self. Core self, as I call it, others refer to this as spirit. Each version being expressed simultaneously within these different realities. The original full human mind-body complex, this vessel, was designed to function and progress consciousness from within and across the multiple densities and dimensions of this world. When the consciousness progression and higher order creational principles of this reality were followed, and I'll get more into those items as I get through more of these videos so that you have a deeper understanding of what those things really mean. But core self, as well as the mind-body complex, comprise consciousness, pure creational potential, and core energy, the higher order energy, the vital energy that enables physical expression of creational potential. Those are the two elemental components of all that is, of all of consciousness: potential and core energy. Okay, as such, core self is not a separate entity. Your mind-body complex and core self are one and the same. Core self is you, and you are core self. The human blueprint or template, some refer to this as soul, is an energetic genetic framework that was interlaced with the mind-body complex. The template was designed to facilitate the progression of the originally fourth density mind-body complex into fifth density energetic and consciousness capacities. Our template records every genetic change made to it. Core Self holds the genetic records of all of the different versions of itself, ourselves. Excuse me. And changes made to the template alter the mind-body complex in accordance with those changes. In addition to genetic changes, Core Self records every thought, emotion, belief, action, behavior, and experience of every version of itself, and making it therefore extremely dynamic in nature. the quantity and variety of knowledge, experience, and wisdom that we can regain access to is unfathomable to most of us at this present time in our present state of being. In any case, our manifest physical reality, planet, solar system, galaxy, and universe around us are also energetic holographic constructs, if you will. Our template or blueprint is energetically interfaced with not only core self and our mind-body complex, but with the energetic infrastructures of our physical reality. And our mind-body complex is energetically interfaced with the manifest expressions of our physical reality. In other words, this body is interfaced with the physicality in which it functions, okay, our environment. And this reality and our mind-body complex within it are both holographic constructs originally intended to advance humanity's responsible service to others, dynamic conscious creation capacities, which enable us to attain the highest possible rate of consciousness progression, also known as ascension, via physical expression, in accordance with the higher order principles of creation for this reality. In other words, there are rules to be followed. These principles being built directly into this reality, this energetic holographic construct. And there are different levels of energy, and this construct and the mind-body complex as well at the energetic level are pure creational potential and vital energy are the result of those things. Okay. Now, humanity's original higher order capacity for expressing creational potential in physical form by way of vital energy was and is unique to us. In addition to its function as an energetic system for facilitating the mind-body complex's progression from fourth to fifth density, the original human template was also engineered in such a way that other races could access it for purposes of recreating or creating their own physical forms and utilizing physicality to advance their rate of consciousness progression. And accordingly, certain off-world races and civilizations were invited to our solar system to partake of this truly unique human consciousness progression project. Some of these races came, adhered to the highest principles of creation in our physical reality. Remember those built-in principles. You need to do this in such a way so as to create in service to others consciousness. Okay, I'll get more into all this later, but this is a high-level overview. And some of the races came and adhered to those principles, and as such, moved into consciousness progressive, higher density states of being, and onto higher order human realities and consciousness progression cycles. Other races did not. Some of these races did not agree with once they came, and they were intimidated by the dynamic, free-flowing creation principles of our world and began tampering with our energetic genetics, the human blueprint, our physical genetics, DNA, and implementing all manner of social conditioning, social engineering, and other mind manipulation programs with the intention of diminishing our awareness, our knowledge of, and thus ready access to our higher density state of being and capacity for higher order dynamic creation. Various uninvited races also came and have seized every opportunity to either directly feed upon, yes, feed upon our energy via the template, or harvest our energetic genetics for purposes of either trading or selling them for their own personal gain, or to upgrade their own genetic infrastructure, but doing so in ways that have put humanity's inherent potential for progressing consciousness at great risk. One of the most dire of the newer social and physical engineering programs entails their relentless promotion, the irresponsible development and impending full-blown merge of mechanical and quantum technologies with the mind-body complex. This is known as transhumanism, and I know you've all heard that term. And the highest level instigators of this strategy well know that their so-called advanced technologies, mechanical and quantum, are just poor imitations of and self-destructive substitutes for the higher order consciousness and vital energy sourced technologies that we can regain access to. And I am by no means a Luddite. I'm all for technology, but not the technologies that are being pushed upon us right now. And these same races also know that merging these technologies with the mind-body complex will drastically curtail our ability to access and engage our higher density energies and creational capacities, if not completely terminate them. These extreme millennia spanning programs have diminished the original capacities of both the full human template and the mind-body complex. For example, Earth, in this version expression of reality, is actually a fourth dimensional planet. But its fourth dimensional attributes are no longer readily apparent to us, for the most part, because our consciousness, energetic and creational capacities, and in turn our perspective and perception of this reality, have regressed from fourth density, fourth dimension, to third density, third dimension, and even lower in some cases, due to this long-term series of conditioning, social engineering, and genetic manipulation and harvesting programs. Now, I'll just briefly touch on the difference between density and dimension. Density refers to the level of conscious awareness, and thus various creational and energetic capacities. Dimension is the space, the physicality that unfolds around density. Okay? Level of awareness, density, space, dimension, baseline. Okay. Well, anyway, these same programs have led not only to the regression of human consciousness, but to the further consciousness regression of those who have initiated it, who have initiated and implemented them into our world. And humanity's current collective downward spiral bears out this self-perpetuating cycle of consciousness regression. The consciousness regressive higher density, just because you're higher density doesn't mean you're necessarily a service to others or consciousness progressive being. You can be aware of a lot more, but that doesn't mean that that knowledge is being used in service to others' ways. Okay. So the races, consciously regressive races and civilizations that are responsible for implementing these programs and these other activities within our world are mired in the service to self, consciousness regressive polarity of consciousness, either through their own ignorance and self-irresponsibility, or with full understanding, conscious intention. In other words, they know exactly what they're doing and the ramifications of that. Whichever case really doesn't matter. They both have the same effect. Becoming aware of and coming to grips with and ultimately embodying a higher order understanding of these aspects of our reality is a crucial step on this awakening journey. But an even more critical step is coming to the realization that the social conditioning, social engineering, genetic manipulation, and genetic harvesting and feeding could never have taken hold in our world if many humans long ago had not relinquished on multiple levels full responsibility for themselves, their lives, this reality, and their creations. And as a result, human self-irresponsibility down through the millennium has become a deeply ingrained facet of present-day reality. Most humans no longer fully grasp or have completely forgotten what we really are and what we were designed to do from within this reality, in cooperation with this reality, for this reality, and for each other. With several major cosmic energetic cycles now quickly coming to an end, these behind-the-scene beings and forces are pulling out all the stops in their endeavor to derail us from our awakening process journey. In other words, from our efforts to reactivate the original human mind-body complex by way of restoring the original energetic and consciousness capacities that we held. Though I would say the majority of people around the world are feeling this heightened pressure in all areas of their lives. Most don't understand what it is, what's behind it, what it portends, and that's clearly evidenced in the increasingly extreme volatile behaviors and events occurring all over the world right now. Those of us who are consciously participating in the awakening process need to step up our game as we are being more intensely pushed to restore and activate the mind-body complex. Regardless of where we are on our journey, we have to redouble our efforts to restore the mind-body complex to its original, fully functional state, along with the template, to its original state within this reality, so that they're equipped to fully transduce the higher order knowledge, intelligence, consciousness, and creational capacities and energies with which they were constructed. In other words, being able to accommodate, to transduce core self in this reality and enable our ability to accommodate this fast approaching next phase or cycle of our consciousness progression process. And there is only one narrow path to our highest potential creational and consciousness progression capacities. This same path leads directly to full restoration and activation of the mind-body complex to its original state, free of the genetic manipulation and the social and genetic, social and mind conditioning that have been for millennia so severely limiting our realization and expression of our fullest creational capacities within this reality. And this path is the process of regaining self-mastery. The effort required to attain self-mastery is the essential work, yours and mine, of the awakening process. And this process is also, within various esoteric circles, been referred to as the great work. Now, contrary to what a lot of information that's being put out right now, we're not going to be magically swept up into the next higher phase of our consciousness evolutionary process by beings from other worlds, religious deities or icons, so-called angels, guides, or ascended masters, or by any other supposedly benevolent, those proclaiming themselves to be benevolent entities. And our mind-body complex is not going to be miraculously transmuted into its original design simply by absorbing the influx of various end-of-cycle related energies that are now pouring into our solar system, or by any other occurrence outside ourselves. And though a lot of people are coming into this world with, or have since awakened to, various psychic or energetic abilities, simply having those abilities is not a free pass on the journey of awakening. And it doesn't matter how much time or energy you've already invested in the awakening process, if self-mastery work wasn't an integral part of it. Full restoration and activation of the mind-body complex and template is unattainable when self-mastery is lacking or insufficient, regardless of any abilities to which we may have already regained access or how long we've been on the journey. The process of regaining self-mastery is the path of full self-responsibility, consciousness progression. It opens access to our ability to either transmute, transcend, or get rid of the reversed, regressed, or infected genetics that have been inserted into our template or the body at the energetic level, as well as the complex, mind-body complex, and to activate only those which are in alignment with our highest energetic levels and highest principles of operation in this reality. This in turn facilitates the flowering of our highest potential energetic and creational capacities within and through this mind-body complex, in turn enabling the highest possible rate of consciousness progression for all within this reality who so choose that. The work of self-mastery attainment is our continuous effort to fully realize, integrate, and wisely apply our peak mental, emotional, and physical capacities, the capacities of the mind-body complex. It's a process based squarely in taking charge of and full responsibility for every thought, emotion, belief, urge, desire, action, and every aspect of our lives in every moment. It's a tall order. It also entails establishing, maintaining, and strengthening an ongoing intention and an endeavor to continually increase our conscious awareness of and access to higher order knowledge and creational capacities. Regaining self-mastery is the process through which we reactivate our original full human mind-body complex by restoring our highest level heart, mind, creational center energies and our mental, emotional, physical states of being. And as such, this re-equips our mind-body complex with the capacity to fully transduce. We become vessels for the higher order awareness, energies, and creational capacities, as well as desires of core self within this physical realm. Self-mastery empowers our highest order state of being and expression in this reality, making it the requisite foundational component of the awakening process. And I'll be getting much more deeply into a number of the concepts that I spoke to in this particular video. Take only that which you need, and if you find any of this information of benefit, I hope that you will subscribe. There's a little button on the left. And also share it with those that you know are also on the conscious journey of awakening. And you can visit my website as well, which offers a whole lot more information, and there's a lot more being added all the time. In any case, I wish you well on your conscious awakening journey and hope to see you again very soon. Take care.